Good afternoon. This is Ron Brown. The market just closed on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2025. This week I've been working diligently on some scans, modifying scans that I've had in there just to make them more usable. And these are trend scans. And I'm going to take you through what these scans do relative to my most useful and favorite chart. As always, the market is your teacher. Any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. Now this week I'm using a different magnification on the screen to make things a little bit larger so you can see what I'm doing. Where I want to start is I'm going to take you through these primary trends, but I'm going to ask you to delete certain views, and why don't I just bring the warehouse up here. I want you to delete this folder here, Ron Brown Top-Down Process Scans 2025 Warehouse Views. So just click on it and delete it, and do the same thing for the category trades, micro, short, intermediate, and long trends. These are the scans that I've been working on this week to make them more functional and more useful. So you have to delete this, and I would like to have you delete my charts too and reinstall, and they'll reinstall automatically. So these two right here, this one, and then this one, micro, short, intermediate, and long trends. Just delete those, and then when you reinstall the add-on, they will be back. Also, I've been modifying my most used charts, and you should have a folder of your own for your most used charts, but these are the ones that I'm using the most, and I'll take you through some of these today. So if you'll go ahead and just choose Create View and delete My Most Used Charts, then you're going to have this list. I'll probably be changing these off and on as I move forward. Now I'm going to make you do one more thing. I hate to do this, but I think it's important. Deleting the warehouse views and the chart views and having the same ones that I have, just to avoid confusion. If you don't, then when you install, you're going to have a mishmash of warehouse views and so on, where I have changed the names and so on. You'll have the old and the new. So that's why I have you delete certain warehouse views and chart views. And in this instance, I'm going to have you delete some user smart groups. So what I want you to do, well, first of all, let me point out here what I've got. I've added this one, contextual trends down for stocks and ETFs, and contextual trends up. I'm sorry, for stocks and ETFs. And there's a couple of old ones in here I want you to get rid of. I want you to get rid of the two that say contextual trends down. Now these are the same as the common stocks, but since I decided to put these trends in here for those of you who trade ETFs, I wanted to label these, and I wanted to get rid of these others. You don't have to do this. Just be aware that these are for stocks also, but there's duplication. So I'm going to show you what to do. You just click up here on the user smart groups and select contextual trends down. Delete that. And contextual trends up. Delete that. Say OK. And then you have to rebuild the user smart groups. And what this does, it's going to eliminate these two contextual trends down and up that are not labeled. Then you'll just have common stocks and ETFs both up and down. And the downs come first because of just the way, the alphabet. So D comes before U. That's why I've got them in this order. Okay, just about done here. Now this will be gone when I open up my user smart groups. I shouldn't have had charts open. That's what's holding things up. So we have common stocks down and ETFs down. Common stocks up, ETFs up. And as I open this, you're going to see that these are numbered with the shortest term trends on top and progressively stronger trends as you go down. I'm gonna go through these. I'm gonna take the filter off. Nothing's showing up here, and I just want to make sure that. Okay, I had a filter on, but you can see there's a bunch of micro trend up, short-term trend up, intermediate. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to take you through this. Now I've done this a couple of ways. I decided to put these in the user smart groups because if you want to concentrate on a certain type of trend, for example, a primary trend up with the fan up, and you want to run additional screens from the warehouse on that, you're just looking at strong stocks here, or the strongest stocks. These stocks with a primary trend up, fan up, a lot of these, or most of them, are stocks that the institutions are either buying or selling. So let's go ahead and get started. But this is just kind of a cursory overview, but I am going to start in all securities and click through to the warehouse view, and then I'll get the designer out of the way. And I do have these obviously in the correct order. I mean, most of us spend our time looking for stocks and uptrends, and that's where I'm going to start. Now, what I have over here is the chart that I use the most. It has the different trends based upon the histograms, and I'll go through this as I talk my way through this. I may not get everything covered today, and I'll be reinforcing this in coming videos. So let's go on trending up. I'm going to start with a micro trend up. What is the micro trend up? Well, if you click up here on the pencil, it's going to tell you that it's a 3-day exponential moving average above the 6-day exponential moving average. So I'm on that, and I'm sorted on raw combo. This is end of day, and here's the same list of stocks intraday. So what do we have here? Let's find one that isn't a $1.20 stock. Here's United Fire Group, 2677 as of 50. And as I look over here at this, you'll see that this window right here is called expansion contraction micro trend 3 and 6 day. This is above the line, and this happened. Remember, this is yesterday's data, so it happened from this day right here. This corresponds to yesterday, and the day before. It's been in effect for 2 days as of yesterday, now 3 days. And if you look closely here, you'll see where the 3 crossed the 6. Now that was yesterday, but let's see how this looks today with the same list of stocks. If you look up here, there's 127 securities. And if I go to intraday today, you can see there's 127 securities. Now this is what happened today. You can see that Udemy, the online learning website, crossed over 5 days ago, but it's still in microtrend as of yesterday. If I bring this up, let's make this full screen. I'll zoom in on this, bring the arrow up. Okay, so that data was from yesterday, and you can see that it's been positive going back to this day right here. Crossed over and cleared. This is a micro trend because it's heading up, but the other trends were down until today. This is what happened today. Earnings came out on Udemy, and it shot up. But notice there was a volume pocket pivot yesterday before earnings, and then a confirmation of that heavy volume today. So this is the micro trend. I'm going to drop down to the next stock. I don't know anything about it, and it's a little cheap stock, and that's all right because this is a micro trend only. When we get down into the next box, or the next window, we go to short-term trends, 6 and 18 day. So the 6 and the 18 both have to be positive, but that's coming up in another screen here. The point is, if you're looking for stocks that are just starting to move, they're going to fall into the micro trend up, and they may not go up any further, but you can see that these have all crossed. Let's sort on this, go to the top. They've all crossed the 3 and the 6, and this is the number of days that they've been positive. Now here's Alcoa. We all know that name. This crossed over 7 days ago. 0 is a crossover day. So today, after the market, would be its 8th day, if it's still positive. And it's barely positive, as you can see. In fact, it may have crossed back down today. It looks like it's crossing back down today. But as of last night, it was in a micro trend. But you can see that there's all kinds of overhead resistance here with these other moving averages. Okay, so that's micro trend. Let's move on to short-term trend, and I'll just go to the end of day first, sort on raw combo. And by the way, I'm using the VPA trends combo that I came up with a while back. I'm sorry, I didn't want the filter, I wanted the combo. So the combo ranking, the trend percent is 33%. The uptrend is 33%, and I just put this in, the percent change close divided by the open for momentum. What that gave me, or gives me, based on yesterday's close, is, oh, that's not a good example. This is why I don't do this in all securities most of the time. I'll do it in like the S&P 500 and so on. But in fact, let's move over to the S&P 500, okay? Major market components. Here's the 500. Okay, well, there's a familiar name on top. So short-term trend up as of yesterday's close was Intel. I'll bring Intel up, and you can see that this crossed over 3 days ago, 4 days ago now, and that happened right here on the 3 crossing the 6. Now I'm into the short-term scan now, and I'll click on this up here, and it describes what the short-term scan is. The 3 is above the 3 days above the 6, and the 6 is above the 18. And if you look down here at these histograms, here is the window for the 3 and the 6, and this is for the 6 and the 18. Now, in these columns, I just have the 3-6 crossovers, and the volume point of control. So you're going to have to look down here to see when it crossed over. But when you get into the short-term scans, just remember that these moving averages, the 3 and the 6 have to be positive, and the 6 has to be above the 18. And now I'm going to move on to the intermediate term trend up. Actually, let's go back here. Let's see what happened here on the short-term trend intraday. And it looks like Dell Technologies rose to the top. And if you look here, you'll see that the 3-6 crossed here and the 6-18 crossed back here. So this is in a short-term uptrend. And that happened 6 days ago on the 3-6 crossover, which would have been back here. 6 days ago, 7 days ago if you count today. And today, look at the volume that came into it. So there is some accumulation in the stock on the short-term crossover. As I go through these various scans, you can see that as I go down the list, the trends get stronger. So now I'm going to go to the intermediate term, end of day. This is as of yesterday, and AMAT was on the top. So I'm going to bring AMAT up. And what are the requirements for this? Bad example because it fell today. But as of yesterday, well, let's look at another stock that didn't collapse today, but Lam Research did. It's holding up, okay? And what are the requirements here? 3 above the 6, 6 above the 18, 18 above the 50. And if you look down here at this window, bring an arrow up here. Okay, here's the 3-6 positive and the 6 and the 18. And then the 18 versus the 50 histogram. And this is an intermediate term trend up because all 3 of these histograms are positive. Now you can see, looking at the weekly chart, it's moving up, but it really hasn't gone that far. And after this gap up, it is heading up because the 3 is above the 6. So the momentum is to the upside, but barely. But just by looking at these 3 windows, you can tell that this is an intermediate term trend up. Now, if I go to the intraday, let's see what's on top here. Look at this. Super Micro, it's been coming back, and it's up another 13.32 today. And all of these trends are positive. 3-6, 6-18, and the 1850 intermediate term trend. They're all positive. So this is a stock that has been gaining momentum. Here's the 3-6 crossover where this began, and then it followed through. The 6 and the 18 came into play. It looks like about right here. And then yesterday on this test, the 18 versus 50, and I haven't pointed out down here, but the volume point of control turned positive clear down here, and the force index 10-day turned positive here. So this has been moving up, and pointing this out up here, the industry is a blue, and the relative strength of the industry is a green. So this has been outperforming its industry. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to move down to the long-term trend. Now, what is the long-term trend? It just means that the 200, the 100, and the 50 are stacked. 200, then the 100's above that, and then the 50's above that. And this is one I just put in rather than going directly from the intermediate to the long term with the fan up. I thought this one was necessary because look what it picked up as of last night. Nvidia, Apple, Altria. Wow, these are all familiar names. So let's look at it and see why this was passing this long-term scan. We'll bring the arrow back up. Okay, so here's the 200. It's kind of hard to see. And the 100 is the black line. And then the blue line is the 50. So these are stacked in the correct order. Now, where did this Nvidia start turning up again? Well, here's a stopping volume. And then it looks like the 3-6 crossed. Didn't cross until this point right here because of this hard sell-off. Now it is filling this gap. I should have drawn it this way, this gap right here. And it's on the way after a test, a confirmation of that test, and an effort to rise. So the traders that bottom fished this could have gotten in right here, and that was around the 125 level, something like that, or 123, and it's all the way back up to 140. But this is the long-term trend. Now, this is one that I put in. By the way, I base all this on what I'm doing, and the concepts with Frank Bunn originally gave me a lot of these ideas, and I've modified them for my own use and for HGSI. He doesn't use histograms. I do. I think they're easier and they make more sense than MACD. But we have our own. I have my own style. He has his, but I like his concept of the moving average for expansion and contraction, and that's what I did right here. Okay, so that's long-term up, end of day. Let's see what happened intraday. Apple was the big today. Bring this arrow up. 200, 150, easier to see here. But the fan is not up yet because all of the moving averages, including the 18, has to be above this 50. That's what constitutes a fan. All right, so that is long-term trend up. Now, I showed you what is required here. Now, the primary trend. This is where a lot of the institutional money flows in and out because a lot of conditions are met, while other conditions, I'll show you what they are here. So let's just bring CrowdStrike Holdings up, and this is a really good example. So here's the 200, here's the 100, here's the 50, here's the 18, and these are all stacked. They have to be stacked in that order for the fan to be in play. And then when you add the 3 and the 6, and that's really not part of the scan, but you can see that this stock is in a strong trend. And when the 3 is above the 6, and you look down here at the histogram, and these bars are staying up on all of these, that tells you that a strong trend is in place. Look where the VPOC turned positive and the force 10-day turned positive, clear back here. But this has been moving up pretty much, a little stalling here, but then it continued up. This is institutional money flowing into these stocks that pass this screen. Let's look at, I'm not with Tyler Technologies, but you can see the fan isn't quite as pretty, but it's stacked in the correct order. Now I'm going to open this up and show you the 3 is above the 6, 6 is above the 18, 18 is above the 50, 18 is above the 200, 150-day exponential moving averages, and that constitutes a fan. Just reverse it, for the downside fan. But this is where you can just spend your time in here and look for trades if you're not interested in getting in early, because these are strongly trending stocks. Let's look at Netflix. Look at this. Gap up on earnings, and it just continues to go up. Set a new 52-week high, or an all-time high today. Here's the weekly chart of it. There's 110 stocks in here. These are all familiar names. What was the big winner today based upon my intraday demand combo? Howmet Aerospace. It's been going sideways for a long time, but today it finished strong. The fan is up. Notice that it really didn't challenge this 18-day. Came down to it here, came down to it, but bounced right back. So institutional money flowing in. All of these histograms are positive. Let's look at T-Mobile. Another really nice chart. Gapped up here, took some time to digest it, but it's been moving up. The 3's above the 6. All of these are stacked in the correct order. Fan is in place. It pulled back. This is a good entry point when they pull back. Here's a test, confirmation, strength confirmed, effort up, pulled back a little bit, but it stayed well above the 18 and started moving out today. Let's look at Meta stock here. Just keeps going up. Unbelievable. Okay, so the crossover, the 3-6, after the pullback, bring the arrow up. The 3-6 crossover was here. That was 20 days ago, 21 days ago now. And it just keeps going up. You can see it's lost a little bit of momentum. The 3 is a little bit closer to the 6. But it's hard to tell visually, but you can see it here in the histogram. But still, it continues to go up and had an effort to rise today. Now I'm going to quickly go through the down trends. They're just the opposite. But let's go into get in there. Trending down, micro trend down. I'll use the intraday. Motorola Solutions down 5.99% today. But it's a micro trend. Oh boy, earnings must have come out today. Or something came out today. Haven't looked at this stock for a while. It was really doing well, and it just collapsed today. Let's see if I can find one smoother. Marriott. Okay, you can see that what makes this a micro trend down, and a lot of times you can find stocks that are just pulling back in the short term, and then they'll go up again. So let's take a look at this. Here's the micro trend down. The short-term trend looks like it's right at turning down today, and the medium-term trend is up, but the force index turned negative, and the force index is here. The VPOC turned negative on this day right here. So this is a short-term pullback. Let's look at one more here. Let's look right here. Okay, so you can see that there's a short-term pullback here. This one looks like the micro trend pulled back. The short-term trend looks like it's after today getting ready to pull back. Intermediate is still positive. These are all micro trends down. The descriptions are all in here. 3 below the 6. Just like before, I don't need to go through all of these. So that's a micro trend down. Let's go to the short-term trend down. Look at the intraday here, Wabtec. So short-term's down, intermediate term trend is down. Micro is down, short-term trend is down, turned down right here on the gap down. Must have been an earnings gap, but so that's your short term down. Let's go to the intermediate term down. I'll do the intraday here. Cooper comes. So you can see that all three of these trends are down: micro, short, and intermediate term. Where did this one break down? Back here when the 3 went below the 6. You can also see it's been underperforming the group. The group hasn't been doing that well. Healthcare supplies, but some serious damage going on here. Okay, long-term down, same thing, just I'll do the intraday. There aren't that many here, but it's same description. 200, 150 days are stacked. Now I'm going to move on down to the primary trend, fan down. These are the stocks that are really being dumped. So let's just take a look here. Huntington Ingalls Industry. You can see earnings must have hit this stock. I'll zoom out so you can get a better idea of the trend here. But here's the 200, here's the 100, here's the 50, here's the 18, and the 6, and the 3. So fan down very sharply. There's 66 of these within the S&P 500 dynamics. Look at this on the weekly chart and then check it out here on the daily chart. Once again, here's the 200, here's the 100, here's the 50, and the 18. Strong trend down. Las Vegas fans being dumped. Now this just turned into a fan being down because the 100, the black line dropped below the 200, but now we're seeing some buying support after the bingo bar, the oversold bar appeared. It appeared here also, and there was some buying, but it didn't last, and then gap up maybe on earnings, I don't know, but then it's been falling down. But there's a lot of familiar names because this is the S&P 500. Lennar Corporation, Home Builders, going down. So if you're a long-side trader, if you want to find the strongest trends, just go to this trending up, go to primary trends up, and you're going to find the strongest stocks. If you want the weakest stocks, if you like to short stocks or use spreads, primary trend down. You can use spreads obviously on both the long and short side, but most of the people that use HCSI are long side traders, but there are opportunities on both sides. Now, this is a quick run through. I mean, I'll be doing this. This is powerful stuff, by the way. You know, you want to find trending stocks and get on board. You want to find them early, but this way we have all of the options. Now I'm going to do something else here. I'm not going to go through all of this right now, but I just want to show you, and I'll do the common stocks. The reason I put these in here is, let's say I'm going to go to the upside. Common stocks, contextual trends up. I just went up and disengaged the filters because nothing was showing through here. But so here are the primary trends up as of yesterday. Now what this allows us to do by working from the user smart groups is I'm going to go to right here. You can see that I'm in the warehouse with this group, and then I can apply. Let me get the designer out of the way. I can apply any scan that I want to. I'm going to go into intraday money flow, for example, and intraday money flow demand. Because I'm in the primary trend up, I know that these stocks are in a long-term uptrend. So here's DraftKings. Let's look at it. You can see that the fan was in place. Here's the 200, the 100, the 50. I'm sorry, 200, 100, 50, 18, and the fan is in place. You can see there was a buy right here, and this took off. Earnings are out of the way, but a massive move up. So by sticking to a group that's created every night with the update, any of these groups are, if you're looking for stocks that are just starting to move, microtrend, you can see that there's Udemy's in here. I already looked at that. Let's look at this one here. This is the crossover days 3 days ago. Cheap stock, but you get what I'm, if you get really cheap stocks, let's go back to the, well here, I'll just drop down here. I'll drop down to the sector stocks. Microtrend sector stocks. Let's take a look at FedEx. It was up 1.77%. So you can see that it crossed over right here on this. So this was an opportunity to get in early on this stock because it's in a microtrend. Now, this would have appeared sooner in a microtrend down using an intraday scan where the price was up. It would have been appearing here and here, well, all the way up until the crossover. It would have appeared in the microtrend down on all of these days here until it crossed over. I hope that makes sense. I don't have time to explain all that a little bit clearer, but I'll be doing that in future videos, looking for early entrants. Here's Genrock, crossed over 2 days ago. Let's look at it. Look at this, stopping volume right here, effort to rise, little pullback here. Well, it's several dollars pullback, but the point is it did cross over, but you can also see that it's lost its momentum. You're able to tell that momentum is being lost because the histograms are going down on the 3-6 crossover. My point is there are several ways to scan just by isolating the type of trend you're looking for. Let's go into the, before I leave, I want to go back into that micro trend. Contextual trends down, micro trend down. And here's what I'm talking about. So these are micro trend down stocks, but they were up today, intraday. This is where you might be able to find stocks that are starting to back up or accumulations going on. It's a micro trend stock, but if you look at the chart here, you'll see that the short term and the intermediate term are up and the VPOC is positive. So we had a pullback. This is actually a strong stock because the fan is in place, but it's a micro trend down because it crossed to the downside right here. But buyers are coming in. This is where you can locate stocks that are maybe finding support. Here's Match Group, same thing. It turned down, but now it's moving back up. Turned down right here. Look at the momentum starting to go back up, though, on the histogram. So there's always multiple ways to use these scans, and I'll get into them more in other videos. I just wanted to get these out to you. Sorry this video is so long, but if you have a chance to watch it and digest all this, you'll see how powerful this is going to be, and I'll be using these scans a lot going forward. Thanks for listening. Have a nice weekend, a nice 3-day weekend, and I'll probably do another video next weekend.